Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm here with a sort of kind of knife review today. I am here with a pretty new knife. I think as of the filming today, came out about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and it is the Civivi Altus. Pretty excited about this, and there's two main reasons why I'm excited about it. First thing is it's a button lock, and I've really come to like button locks quite a bit. I only have two in my collection, counting this one. The other one's the Malibu, which is a little bit longer than my state carry laws, and I really don't feel like running into a potential issue for having a knife that's a quarter inch too long. So, besides the fact that it's a button lock, which I think is very cool, I really enjoy carrying it. It also is like 2.95 inches. Now, in my state, we have a 3 inch uh, limit for carrying a concealed knife. So 2.95 is perfect. Don't the only thing better than that might be 2.99, but I'm good with the 2.95. This comes in about four different styles. One of them is burgundy G10. I think another one's like brownish G10, and then there's a wood handle. I opted for the one with the with the micarta scales. What's interesting about the scales is I got this because it was a dark green, and I might be looking at this saying, that doesn't look too dark to me, and you would be right. Um, if you take a look closely, it was actually much darker than this. As a matter of fact, this area right in here, you can tell it's a little bit darker. It's actually faded out kind of quickly. Uh, it has like this worn look, but I'm not upset about that. I actually kind of like the fact that it has that worn look to it. Uh, I even asked my wife, I said, it's not my imagination that this is looking later and like it's a little faded out. And she didn't really remember. She was quite distracted by the blade. She really liked the blade. So these are like, I bought this on Amazon. They were about $69 or $70 for the regular version. And this particular one has the Damascus blade, which just looked too cool to leave behind. I really like Damascus, so I had to get it. Um, God, it's good. I've finally focused on it. Um, the Damascus blade, I think, is beautiful, and I liked the green color the best. So couldn't leave that behind. The other blades have a Nitro V steel, and like I said, this is just Damascus. It doesn't go into any detail beyond that. The blade is 0.12 inches thick, and like I said, it's a 2.95 inch long blade. The handle's a little over 4 inches. I think it's like 4.15 or 4.10 inches. And in total, it's a little over 7 inches long. Not too thick, as you can tell right there. Not too thick at all. And has a nice handle on it, too. Well, I should say, you can get a good handle on it. It has some jimping right there, perfectly placed in my opinion. Sorry for not the lack of focus, but perfectly placed in my opinion to make some good cuts in. And I like this cutout right here. And as you can see, it's kind of cut inward over here for particularly good grip. Also, as you can tell, it's kind of flattened out over here. It's not totally rounded. It would be nice if it was totally rounded, but it's not a big deal. I mean, if I had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably call it. I'd give it like about a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm really happy with it. This particular one with the Damascus and the micarta was $90 plus tax was 97. I think that's a very very fair price for it. And like I said, I've been carrying it. I got it about a week ago, and I've been carrying it. Um, Cuts well. It came fairly sharp. Actually, pretty darn sharp right out of the box. So I took good care of it. It appears to be a flat grind. Not 100% sure on that, but you can see that edge just a little bit there. I also like the blade profile quite a bit. Sometimes I tend to like knives that don't have the most useful blade profiles, like cleavers and whatnot, but this one, this one's pretty good. So, like I said, if I was going to nitpick, oh, and the clip's pretty good too. Now, if I was going to nitpick on a few things, thing one I'd nitpick on is that the clip isn't recessed into the handle. It does stick up a teeny tiny bit, which is a very, very minor thing to me. Extremely minor. The pocket clip isn't bad. It's pretty easy to get in and out of the pocket. I like that. The liners are steel and they are skeletonized. I'm not sure if you can really see that too well, but they are skeletonized. I wouldn't lie to you, especially not about this. So that's pretty cool. Uh, the thumb studs. Not totally thrilled with the thumb studs. They are. I think I'd probably like the thumb studs if they were rounded a bit more. These do have like a step to them, which I apologize. I don't think I'm actually getting the camera focused on them well enough, but um, I don't know. They're just not as I think I would say they're maybe a little bit too tactile. After you flip it a few times, it's kind of like ugh. But again, pretty minor thing. Like I said, it's a pretty good knife. I like it quite a bit. And just in case you don't believe me, we'll we'll put it up here. And as you can see, let's line it right up with the inch. We have 1, 2, 3 inches right here is a 3-inch mark, and you can see it just goes a little bit beyond there. 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's put that right there. So 7, and like I said, goes over maybe about 1/10 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So I would certainly recommend it. If you're not a big fan of Damascus or the micarta, just get the regular one. My big reason for wanting to get this particular one, oh, I forgot to tell you about the action. Like I said, it is flickable, which is nice. And then the action, pretty nice actually. Now, when it came, it was a little stiff. But you know what? You got to break these things in. It gets better and better. I mean, like I said, I'm happy with it. If you're not a big fan of the Damascus, I would definitely get the plain ones for like, $69, $70. It's a really good deal. Now, I know Civivi makes at least 2 other button locks. They make the Elementum button lock and the Cogent the Cogent button lock. Now, the Elementum is only a button lock. Like, it doesn't have a flipper. It doesn't have at least that I know of, it doesn't have a flipper and it doesn't have thumb studs. It's just the button lock. I'm okay with that. The Cogent has a flipper, and I'm okay with that. This one has thumb studs. To be honest with you, if I had to pick between, having thumb studs and not having them, I'd rather have the thumb studs and the button lock as a way of having 2 methods of opening. Not that you really need it, but it's just kind of cool, kind of mix things up. Now, if I had a choice of having a flipper and a button lock, I would go with the flipper. I do prefer flippers to the button lock. Like I said, this one, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't want to say pointy because that's kind of stupid because it's not pointy, but it's just not the most comfortable thumb stud I've ever felt. But again, I mean, overall, I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10, so you can tell it's not a huge deal for me. I mean, value-wise, it's good. The blade profile is awesome. I love that the size is under 3 inches. The micarta handles, like I said, they've worn a little more quickly than what you would expect, but they look pretty cool. I kind of like that worn look because they look like pretty darn new when I got them. Then all of a sudden they just started getting a little bit of a little white. I don't know if you can really see that, but it has kind of like this grainy kind of like fabricy look, and it's almost like it's getting white in the recessed areas, and then the higher points are still green. It's pretty cool. I really like it a lot. I'll probably say that once or twice more um, while the video's playing, but yeah, I really like it a lot. The clip is very deep carry, and it really slides right into your pocket. Well, I know they get some criticisms about the profile of the pocket clip. It doesn't bother me at all, to be honest with you. I actually think the way it slants up a lot. Some people think it might be a little too much of a slant, but I actually kind of like that because it gets into the pocket very quickly. So if you're doing something and you're in a hurry to get it back in your pocket, it clips on really, really fast. I do have a couple of knives that really aren't as quick as that, so I do appreciate that. Now, if they had another clip on there, it certainly wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, but I kind of like it. And of course, for you lanyard fans, I'm sure you could probably tie something around there if you wanted to in the back, right there. Yeah, you could tie something around there if you wanted to. I don't think it would interfere at all. So this is my very basic short-term review. Now, I have had this knife for about a week, and I've been carrying it in my pocket, I've been pulling it out of my pocket, and I've been doing all kinds of super tactical um, things with it, like I cut a couple of boxes, and I opened some mail, and I cut some more cardboard, and then I opened even more mail. So all like really heavy duty operator kind of stuff, and it's holding up really really well. Now, realistically, joking aside, a week's not too long to tell how long it lasts. It how it's doing and how it will last, but I mean, with a week, I'm pretty happy with it. So, if you're looking for a button lock, um, this is a really good place to start. Now, it's not the cheapest one. I mean, I believe the Elementum button lock's a few bucks cheaper, and the plain Altus is a little bit cheaper. But like I said, if you're living in a tyrannical state like me, where carrying a knife with a blade of longer than 3 inches is a no-no, I think this is a really good place to start if you want a good quality button lock. Now, I know some people would consider this a budget knife or anything, and in the grand scheme of things, it certainly is. I mean, there are a lot of button locks that you could pay, hundreds of dollars for, maybe four figures. This one's still two figures, so it is really really an excellent value. This is my first Civivi knife. I was kind of going back and forth because I was like, do I really want to buy a Chinese knife? And I really didn't want to buy a Chinese knife. Um, but I ended up kind of breaking down because I really like the materials. And like I said, I'm a sucker for Damascus, and I'm growing to like micarta more and more and more. So I went with it. So if you have stuck around this long, I thank you. If you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up, and I will be back um, probably in a couple of days. I got some really cool stuff planned, so keep an eye on the feed. Talk to you later.